Welcome to AK App Logics. In the previous class, we have discussed about the push button in active low with pull-up resistors by extending it with an LED. Okay, based on the uh, input we are getting from the push button to the Arduino, accordingly, based on the state, we are going to turn on the LED or off it. Similarly, in the today's class, we are going to discuss about the active high with pull down resistor. We are going to uh, add the same extension of LED to this as well, like I did similarly in the case of active low with pull up resistor. So this is the so this is the code, and this is the circuitry of the previous video of the pull down resistor active high configuration of push button. So I'm going to extend the topic of extension of LED from now. So this code and the circuitry will be present in that video. So I think you guys all watched that video. If you haven't watched it, please go through it and come over here. Then only you can able to understand about this particular extension of LED. So what we are going to do is, firstly we have to make an circuitry. So let me take an LED. I have taken LED which has anode and cathode two terminals. Yeah, and I have taken the current limiting resistance. You can see over here we have an current limiting resistors which is of 330 ohms actually. So I'm going to give this particular value to the 330 ohms. So let me give this particular value, and yeah, sorry, yeah. So yeah, let me take an sorry, actually this is not the current limiting resistor, it is a pull down resistor. In the previous video we have it right. So it's the pull down resistor. So let me take an current limiting resistor. Yeah, wait a second. Yeah, I have taken a current limiting resistor whose value is 330 ohms. Why 330 ohms is discussed by me in the first video, which is uh, interfacing of LED to the Arduino board. Yeah, now let's make a connections. So I have connected one end of the resistor to the cathode of the LED and other end of resistor to the minus, which is the ground of the breadboard. So I'm going to connect another end of the LED, that is anode, to the uh, pin number 3, and I'm connected this particular ground, okay, connection from ground pin to the minus of the breadboard. I have connected it. So if you gonna see again the connections from pin number 3 to the anode of the LED and cathode of LED to the resistor one end and resistor other end to the minus of the breadboard connection, which has the horizontal dots are shorted together, and from it we are connecting it to the ground. So what is the expected output from this particular thing is, whenever we receive whether high or low from the push button to the Arduino board via pin number 9, based upon the state, that is whether it is high or low. If we receive high, then we have to send output of 5 volts from pin number 3 to make it LED turn on. Okay, if we receive low from the pin number 9, which is actually from the push button, so then we will send 0 to the LED anode terminal via pin number 3. This is the main motto of this particular uh, thing. So let me discuss the code changes. So I am declaring a variable to indicate the pin of 3, so which is going to the LED. So I am taking it LED equal to 3, and I have to tell or the declare whether it is an input or output, whether we are going to use it as an input or output pin. So we are going to send the 5 volt supply to the or the 0 volt supply to the LED based upon the push button switch, right? So it means it must be an output. So I have used the pin mode function to declare the LED as an output, where LED is nothing but the pin number 3. So in the setup function, which is executed only once when we given the power to the Arduino. Okay, in the loop function, based on the button state, which is actually the input that is received by the Arduino via pin number 9 from the push button. So based upon this particular button state, whether it is high or low, I have written already few conditions in the previous video, what to do when it is high, and what not to do, what to do when it is low. So I have used if else conditions. So in that if else conditions, I'm going to write this LED state. uh, so when will be the LED will be glown is when we send the high to it. So whenever the button state is high, I am going to write in the if body, I am going to write digital write. So let me digital write LED comma high. Why? Because I have already discussed it, right? This is our in today's video, this is our aim. So for that, if button state equal to high, then this particular contents in the if body will be executed. So that I have mentioned over here, that is digital write of LED comma high. So whereas in the else body, which is actually the button state equal to low, so in it I have to mention digital write equal to low. Yeah, okay. So what happens is, for the 13th pin, we are going to give output 5 volts. Okay, whenever button state equal to high, that is whenever push button, from the push button we get the high value through the 9th pin. Okay, so let me do that particular thing as well for the case of low. So this is the complete code. The code is completed. Yeah, now the expected output is in the pull down, in the active high with pull down case, by default we receive the low. It means by default we receive the low from the push button. Okay, so it means the resistor is getting pulling down the output, so that this particular resistor is called as pull down resistor. This point is has been discussed by me in the previous class. So that in the initially the LED will be we will send the 0 volts to the LED. Why? Because uh, by default push button is giving, by default or the ideal case, or the whenever we shouldn't whenever we didn't press the push button, we are getting the uh, 0 volts or the logic 0 from the push button. So that we are going to send 0 to the anode of the LED. Whenever it is anode of the terminal is receiving 0, and as well as cathode is connected to ground, there will be same potential between the two terminals, so that the LED doesn't glow. So whenever we press this particular push button, then what happens is we will receive 5 volts of supply or the logic 1 to the pin number 9, accordingly to the condition based on the if or the statements inside the uh, if condition body. So we are going to send the 5 volts of supply or the logic 1 to the anode of the LED. When we send when the anode terminal of the LED has 5 volts, and the cathode is connected to the ground with in between current limiting resistance, that is 330 ohms. How does this 330 ohms is came, I have discussed in the previous class. So the LED can't able to take total 5 volts, it will may burn in the practical case, so that we are going to limit current. Okay, yeah. So whenever anode has 5 volts and cathode has 0 volts, there will be a potential difference, and then the current flows and then LED glows. This is the expected operation from this particular code and as well as circuitry. So let us run this particular code. So you can see over here, due to the due to this is the configuration of push button in active high with pull down resistor, we are getting initially output as 0. Okay, which means we are going to the Arduino is getting the output 0 volts from the push button to the pin number 9. So accordingly we are going to send the 0 volts to the LED of the anode terminal of the LED, so that when the LED doesn't glow. Why? Because both anode and cathode contains same potential, that is 0. The potential there is no any difference in potential. So I am going to press the push button and hold. You must be hold. Okay, push button meaning means you have to press and hold till you hold. The state will be changed. When you remove your finger from the push button, then it will come back to the previous state. Okay, so you can see over here, push button is pressed and value is equal to 1. So the LED doesn't glowing, right? I think there must be some mistake. So let me check this. Okay, yeah, there is nothing. I think there is some connections mistake, that's it. So instead of connecting from this particular uh, uh, minus terminal, I have connected from the positive, so that we didn't get an output when we press this push button. So I'm going to press it now. You can see over here, so the LED is getting low, and we are going to see the output is displaying as per our previous video. Why this LED is glowing means we are receiving logic 1 from the push button, so that we are going to send 5 volts or the logic 1 to the anode terminal of LED. The anode terminal of LED contains 5 volts and the cathode terminal of LED contains 0 volts. So, and in between there is a current limiting resistor which will reduce that particular 5 volts. Instead of going completely to the LED, it will take some it will absorb some of the current and have an voltage drop across it, and will send only 1.8 to 2 volts of uh, supply to the LED, which will make it glow without any damaging. So like this the LED will glows on. So I hope you guys understood about this particular thing. So I this is all about this particular lecture. I think this is enough, and as in every video I'm going to say that you should have an hands-on experience about this. So with this I would like to conclude, and thank you. Yeah.